looking back to pass. Looking down the field, wide open. It's Castores, he got it! He's at the 10, 5, touchdown! Under center goes Todd Stone, two backs in the backfield. This time they fake the handoff. Stone now looking downfield, and he sacked, a fumble on the play, recovered by the Tigers. The team goes under center pro set formation. Aker is still in the game now, and they give it to Glander again. Turning his way, he's got one man to beat us, and he's in for the score. No time left. The Paws won the Monon Bell. They've won the bell.
We like to play exciting football. I think we like to move the ball up and down the field. We do put the ball in the air, but when need be, we try to run the ball and control the ball on offense.
We had a bunch of showboat offense people out there. When the offensive team got a yard, they were going to taunt it right in the other guy's face.
Prime time. So you got little black kid going left and right. You got the blade going deep. You got Simba going over the top.
I want my guys to be able to make changes, make adjustments, put themselves in a position where they don't have to think about it. Now they can be physical and reckless and do the things that football players do.
You got big old Groons clogging up the middle, Mouse picking off every pass. I mean, prime time, that's all you can say.
Defense just went out there and just did the job. They were just solid throughout the whole year.
That's kind of when we started talking some trash.
The Tigers opened the 1990 season in Holland, Michigan against the Flying Dutchmen of Hope College. Unfortunately, penalties and big plays by Hope plagued both the offense and the defense. Despite a late fourth quarter rally, the Tigers fell short and lost 22-14. Ranked among the top 10 NC2A Division III teams in the nation, the battling Bishops of Ohio Wesleyan came to DePauw with a powerhouse squad anchored by 4 preseason All-Americans on defense. The game ended up being a hard-fought defensive struggle, but for the second week in a row, the Tigers came up short, losing 10-3. The Mount St. Joseph Lions were a young team, not to be taken lightly. Coach Nick's former mentor at Miami of Ohio, John Pont, was the Lions' head coach. DePauw took control of the game from the very first play and never let up as the Tigers gained 507 yards on offense. The defense shut out the Lions by holding them to 9 first downs and allowing just 69 yards in the second half. It was the first of 8 consecutive victories with the Tigers on top 30-0.
Here is the dome, back with the bass, pajamas live in effect, and I don't waste time on the mic with a dope rhyme. Jump to the rhythm, jump, jump to the rhythm, jump. And I'm here to combine beats and lyrics to make you shake your pants, take a chance. Come on and dance, guys, grab a girl, don't wait, make a twirl. It's your world and I'm just a squirrel, trying to get a nut to move your butt to the dance floor. So yo, what's up? Hands in the air, come on, say yeah. Everybody over here, everybody over there. The crowd is live and I will do this groove. Party people in the house, move.
The Tigers opened ICAC play versus the Fighting Engineers of Rose-Hulman. The defense intercepted 4 Engineer passes, including 1 by senior defensive tackle Chris Gruner. Junior linebacker John Perry became the first DePauw player to be selected as an Indiana Collegiate Athletic Conference Player of the Week. Terry Dickey led the Tiger offense, gaining 166 all-purpose yards, including a 59-yard kickoff return, the longest return since 1980. The Tigers' quest for the ICAC championship had begun.
It was like 3rd and long, and they dropped back and the ball was batted, and somehow I was just standing there and looked up and this brown pigskin falls in my hands for my first career interception. And I remember being so tired that I was hoping somebody was going to tackle me because I did not want to go 60 yards for a score.
Your body is free and behold, dance so you can't dance, so you can't dance no more. Get on the floor and get raw. Yeah, come back then upside down, easy now. Let me see you move.
The Taylor Trojans were preseason favorites to win the ICAC title. When the Tigers traveled to Upland, Indiana on October 6th, they faced a nationally ranked team with a perfect 4-0 record. The Trojans took an early 10-point lead in the first quarter, but then it was all DePauw. The Tigers fought back and scored 28 points within 6 minutes late in the second quarter. 2 touchdowns were set up by interceptions by Tej Lewis. Terry Dickey rushed for a career-high 158 yards as DePauw dominated the Trojans 35-10.
Well, the Hammer Award was set up
one season when we decided that one of the most exciting aspects of a football game, and one of the things that can turn a football game around like no other thing, is to see someone get put on the back of their helmet. The team that does it gets fired up. They're so jacked up, you know, they can't wait for the next play. The team that it happens to, they just kind of hold themselves and they say, oh my, what are they going to do to us?
The Tigers routed the Manchester Spartans by scoring a school record 45 first-half points. DePauw amassed 505 yards of offense, 383 which came in the first half. The Tiger defense held the Spartans to just 106 yards of offense and only 5 first downs. At this point, the Tigers were 3-2, but the season was long from being over. In 1989, the Tigers staged the greatest comeback in school history against the Anderson Ravens. After trailing 36-9 late in the third quarter, they rallied for a 37-36 victory. In 1990, the Ravens wanted to even the score, but the Tigers wouldn't allow it. DePauw punished the Ravens on offense and defense. Terry Dickey and Graham Glander combined to rush for 337 yards, while the defense held Anderson to just 14 yards on the ground. Dickey was also named as the ICAC Offensive Player of the Week after he set a school record with his 202 yards rushing. On Old Grove weekend, the Franklin Grizzlies came to DePauw with a record-setting quarterback and a tough, aggressive defense. Unfortunately for the Grizzlies, their quarterback was sacked 4 times and their defense was pummeled as the Tigers scored 35 second-half points. Terry Dickey and Graham Glander combined for another successful day by gaining 302 yards rushing. The Tiger defense allowed just 38 yards rushing on 28 carries. DePauw had won 5 games in a row and remained atop the ICAC standings. Tigers traveled to Indianapolis on November 3rd to meet the Hanover Panthers at the Hoosier Dome. It was a battle from the beginning, but DePauw emerged the victor and clinched at least a share of the ICAC title. Terry Dickey gained 101 yards rushing, which made him DePauw's all-time season leader in all-purpose yardage. Jason Stadler ran for 105 yards and won the team's Hammer Award for the 5th time during the season. The defense blocked 2 kicks, sacked the quarterback 4 times, and intercepted 4 passes.
The Monon Bell is kind of a culminating effect for the season, and for a senior, it's a culminating game for his career.
In fact, the intensity is so strong that you could almost cut it with a knife on game day.
We're talking 4 in a row, baby, the big broom.
I hate Wabash. Wabash sucks. Enough said.
After 100 years of competition, it was all tied up. 44 wins, 44 losses, and 8 ties. A DePauw victory would make them the undisputed champions of the Indiana Collegiate Athletic Conference, and it would give Wabash their first losing season in 14 years. As in years past, the game was a fiercely intense and emotional battle of wills. The team that wanted it more would emerge the victor. With just 6:56 left in the game, Terry Dickey rushed in from the 2-yard line to give the Tigers the go-ahead score. The Little Giants never saw the end zone again, and DePauw kept the Monon Bell for the 4th year in a row.
have a lot of guys that are very good football players. The fact that they may be only 195 pounds doesn't make them any less of a football player.
DePauw football really wouldn't be DePauw football without Coach Nick.
We have a lot of fun. As far as our program is concerned, I mean, you're coming here to have a lot of fun.
You got a bunch of butt kickers. They're going to go out there every Saturday, taped up, moosed out, rolled up, sleeves rolled up. They're going to go out there, they're going to kick the other team's butt.
Chicks dig meatheads.
Strike a pose. Strike a pose.
DePauw football is fun, but it's more fun to win.